Fox News contributor Judy Miller is with us. She is a Pulitzer Prize winner who has spent many years covering the Middle East. Judy, good to see you tonight from Washington. First of all,
thank you, Eric.
Did you expect this type of reaction so quickly from the Trump administration, considering the other day Rex Tillerson, Secretary of State, was out there saying, you know, the future of Syria and Assad is up to the Syrian people?
Well, not only did I expect it, Eric, but Charles Delfer, the former weapons of mass destruction hunter in Iraq, and I, in an article for Fox News, recommended that President Trump do precisely what he has done, and that is attack the airfield from which this dreadful chemical attack, illegal international attack, was launched. And we recommended that. I'm glad to see that President Trump has done this. This is long overdue. In 2013, as you remember, Eric, Bashar Assad used chemical weapons against his own people. Nothing was done, although almost 1,400 people died. So this is finally a limited, proportionate strike that puts Bashar Assad on notice that if he does this again, he will not live to do it a third time.
And what is the message to Vladimir Putin, who has had Bashar al-Assad's back in his rear end, protecting him this whole time?
Well, I like the way you put that, Eric, because that is precisely the message, and that is control your client. Do not defend him. Do not deny that he's doing what that he's using chemical weapons, which is what the Russians have done. Do not veto resolutions in the United Nations, which is what the Russians have done, aimed at resolving this dreadful crisis. And so it is also a message to Russia to control Bashar Assad's bad behavior because they can. Finally, it's a message to the Chinese who are sitting with Donald Trump, having Dover sole or New York steak. They could choose. Well done, I presume. If you're sitting there and you're President Xi and you're watching this, you suddenly have a different opinion about what President Trump is willing and able to do to stop the use of WMD, and that has to make a huge impression on President Xi when it comes to North Korea. So it's really a threefold message: one, to Bashar Assad, two, to the Russians, and three, to the Chinese about North Korea.
And what happens to Bashar al-Assad? I was with Nikki Haley the other day, interviewing her. She called him a war criminal. You know what that means? That means bringing him to the International Criminal Court, potentially. Only 30 seconds left. Does he stay? Does he leave? The regime changes? That's still Moscow-friendly because of their bases there?
We still don't know, because I don't think the policy, such as it is towards Syria, has changed, as your interview with Nikki Haley showed, because a week earlier she had been saying exactly the opposite things. We don't know what the Trump administration has in mind in terms of the broader goals for Syria and for Bashar al-Assad.
All right, Judy Miller, I know you'll be with us through the evening. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And we'll get back to you in a moment. Meanwhile,